Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Shahnila Malik, Assistant Professor, Govt College for Women, Shahrah Liaqat Karachi. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks to Directorate of College Education, Karachi region, that advised us to continue the process of teaching and learning, which is temporarily disconnected due to the current challenge facing situation. We are now connected through online education that can be one of the most popular education alternatives. No doubt, e-learning is certainly more effective option for students in this prevailing situation. There are so many benefits of studying online, like it gives you more flexibility and comfort. It makes you self-disciplined and responsible. It improves your technical skills. It gives you more choice of topics and it costs very low. So dear students, hope you will avail maximum benefits. Let me start my lecture, that is from your intermediate book Selection from English Verses Part 2, and the topic is The Seven Ages of Man. A speech from William Shakespeare's most popular comedy, As You Like It. It has been extracted from Act 2, Scene 7. This speech is uttered by Jack, one of the group of noblemen living a life of exile in the forest of Arden. Theme of the poem: Shakespeare was struck by the extent to which all life is a performance, people changing roles and always, to some extent, acting. This speech comes from a play written by an actor, perhaps because he was used to see the same people playing lots of different parts. The poem Seven Ages of Man presents the changes taking place in man's life at the different stages. Shakespeare calls the world as drama stage and all men and women merely actors. The poem: all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being seven ages. It describes the seven phases in a man's life from childhood to old age. The world is but a global stage, and all men presented here are mere puppets in the hands of destiny. Just like the infrastructures of a stage, the world has its own entrances and exits. Every man in his full lifetime has many parts to play. His total number of acts in his lifetime is the seven ages. First stage: infancy, childhood. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. This is the first stage of man's life, which begins with cries. He cries and vomits milk in the arms of his nurse. Second stage: schoolboy. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. It is in this stage that he begins to go to school. He plays the role of a complaining and unwilling schoolboy. He is reluctant to leave the protected environment of his home, as he is still not confident enough to exercise his own discretion. Third stage: lover. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad, met to his mistress' eyebrow. The third stage of man's life is filled with frenzy and sentiments of love. His heart burns into the furnace of love. This story comes to an end without a proper end. Fourth stage: soldier. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and bearded like the part, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. In the fourth age, the man assumes the role of a blustering soldier. The man is the man is strongly built and wearing a beard like a leopard. He fights for his honor. Fifth stage, justice. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cap and lint, with eyes spare and bare of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern stances, and so he plays his part. The fifth stage is the adulthood, where a man tries to live a fair and justified life. Now he is prudent, wise, and a learned man. He has a graceful, impressive, and pleasant personality. Sixth stage, old age. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with his spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful horse well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shape, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes, and whistles in his sound. Old age, he begins to lose his charm, both physical and mental. He is hard of hearing, his sight is affected, he is forgetful and cannot recognize people. He has lost independence and has become burden on others. This stage is the start of his miseries. Seventh stage, second childishness. Last scene of all that ends the strange eventful history in second childishness and mere oblivion, sans state, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. In the last stage of life, the process of tortures is boundless. Man dies by inches, where he is deprived of all the senses which are essential for life. He breathes his last in a miserable condition. Eventually, the seventh stage of man's life proves to be tortuous and puts an end to his life. That's all with my today's lecture. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.